I have been blown away by the damage that Kro'khad, the Throat Ripper, the new Hound, has been doing in Hydra. I made a test video comparing him to the most meta nukers, and he came out on top by quite a margin. But he hasn't gone up against the best, not yet. We are gonna up the stakes, we are gonna take in some of the feedback from the previous video, and we are gonna run the round 2 of the damage test. Let's go. Hey guys, SMZ here, we're back playing Raid Shadow Legends. And yes, I did a test video against some of the most meta nukers out there. And you guys had some comments, especially the one that I should not been having Shaik for the other nukers and instead having some other champion. I'm gonna incorporate that feedback, but that's not the intent of this video. There are gonna be two additional things I'm gonna do. Number one, I am gonna pump up the difficulty. I was hesitant to run him in higher difficulties until he gets the soul. But from what I've seen, from what I've heard, he is doing incredible even without the soul. So let's test him out. Spoiler, I have not tested end-to-end runs so far. So this is also going to be my first time. So my reactions are going to be genuine. That's the reason. I do have run some tests already for not the quick battles, but the first 500 turns or so, just to check whether basically if I'm running one nuker and he gets devoured, are my champions able to retrieve that nuker? And the answer is yes. So the team that I have for you today is gonna be not Chimera, we're looking at Hydra. And yes, we're gonna look at Nightmare Hydra. That's gonna be the first change. There's a free champion that you can get by using the link in my description. That is Narma the Returned, a great champion to battle the Demon Lord. And you can get her alongside other crazy good epic champions like Anax, like Uugo, and like Mausoleum Mage as you progress through the game. How to get these champions for free? Here's how to do it. You go into your Plarium Play and log out of your current account. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email address. Download the game and then play the tutorial, and you will find Narma sitting there chilling in your inbox. And you can get all of these crazy good epic champions as you progress through the game. Do not miss out on this opportunity. Click the link in the description and get these cool champs. So this is going to be the team that we're going to be running. So Lamasu is going to be there, who's going to be putting our block buffs, especially for the other champions when Shaik's not there, as well as decreased speed, the decreased attack, which is kind of needed for the Nightmare Hydra. Otherwise, the, what's his name, the retaliation head, the revenge head, I'm forgetting the name. I'm talking about this head. What's it called? Whatever it's called. The one that hits hard is the one that I mean. He's gonna basically eat you alive if you do not have decreased attack. And then obviously her reset that unfortunately is not fixed. I really was happy. Initial testing said it was fixed, but fix your game, please. Fix this ability, make it more predictable. It's still not doing it, even though initially I thought that it was. So we have Lamasu in the team. We have Lydia. Lydia's build for damage. Even though she's in a 9-piece protection, she hits quite hard. And she's able to retrieve the champion back. Then with the debuffs, with the ignore defense maxed out that I have, I'm able to retrieve the champion every single time. So that's something that I wanted to run just to make sure that not in one of the runs, one of the champion gets eaten alive and then we can't get them back. We are still going to use Mad Hatter just because of the incredible utility. He's in a provoke set. He brings Hex, he brings Weaken, he brings Turn Meter Fill and removes debuffs and some kind of healing as well. And his A1 debuff spread and stealing of buffs is amazing. We're still going to have Duchess basically for the Veil as well as for block debuffs, increase attack, and damage mitigation, of course, to be able to tank all the hits that are going to be coming our way. That's going to be the core of the team. And then these two spots I am going to change based on which nukers are we going to be testing. I'm going to try to keep every time an ally attacker. So with the ally attacker, we'll try to replicate because the doggy gets a lot of ally attacks and much more synergy, like doubling his damage, for example. So we're going to try to replace them with similar options. So who is going to be on the test today? Let's check. So today on the test, we are going to be, one additional thing we're going to do is we are going to run the dog, the hound, Kro'khad by himself without Shaik as well. So with a generic ally attacker and see how that goes. Then we're going to run him with Shaik. We are going to test Ninja because he was the closest to Kro'khad in the previous test. And we're going to run Ninja with Mikage. We're going to run Thor, who was the third on the test, I believe. And then we're going to test out 2 additional nukers. Since this is Nightmare, that means that max HP nukers do come into play. On the lower difficulties, the Hydra head's HP is not enough for Akrazi and Marius to be as beneficial. And Marius is right now the king of damage. And he is in a very good build, as you can see. So is Kro'khad gonna dethrone Marius? We are going to find out. So let's jump into our tests. We are gonna start with Kro'khad, just Kro'khad. So let's get rid of Shayak. Actually, which one do we bring? Let's bring in Padraig so we can get that increase attack basically all the time, and then Lydia back in. And I'm gonna ask Padraig to prioritize his ally attack. That's gonna be the thing. Everything else should be set. I didn't change around anything. And yeah, I think we can jump right in. So this is gonna be the team. Block buffs, ally attack, hex, revive and block debuffs, decrease defense weaken, and additional damage to take or rescue the doggy out when he dies. So let's jump into it. Let's see the damage that he can do. Hydra Nightmare, much higher defense of the bosses. So I'm expecting not a lot of damage. Again, normally I would run 2 to 3 nukers in this team. I'm just running 1 to be a good control test. Let's see what we can do. Let's go. First hope is that it goes 2000 turns. Last time it did for each and every single nuker, but this time it's Nightmare, which means things have a much higher chance of going wrong. So far seems so good, and we are getting to 398.23 million damage. 398.23 million damage. Let me just put that in. 392.23. There you go. I added too many zeros. That's correct. And then let me see. Kro'khad's damage is 248,131. 248,131. Triple zeros. There you go. So that's the damage number that we've seen from Kro'khad. 63% of the total damage, as kind of expected, also because Hatter is taking away some of his damage. So this 81 is, most of it is essentially Kro'khad's damage, but because Hatter is applying the hex, the damage is attributed to the Hatter. That's kind of the distribution. And then as you can see, Lydia also does a fair chunk of damage because she's built to do so. So that's kind of our baseline, and let's see where that goes. So I'll discard this result and let's run the second one, which is to add Shayak this time round to the team. I'll take out Padraig and I will add in Shayak, who should boost up the damage number quite significantly. I will ask Shayak to prioritize his A3, the block buffs, and then we can jump right into it and let's see what happens. So let's go. Let's see how far the numbers can fly up from almost 400, right? Was it 400? Yes, 392. Yeah, almost 400. So turn 1000. That's the first thing. Hopefully that it does. I think it will. 573.44. 573.44. There you go. That's the number. And Kro'khad did 420649. 420649 and 3 zeros, obviously. There you go. So the damage has gone up quite significantly, I would say, as expected, by bringing in Shayak, because he kind of doubles the damage in a way, and he is doing that almost. So that we have the line of comparison at the moment. Let's see how that stands out compared to the other nukers. So I'll discard this result, and the next nuker to run is Ninja. For Ninja, what we'll do is we'll take both of these out. I'll put Ninja in and I will put Mikage in. And Mikage, we have to set presets so that she does not go into her second form and she prioritizes her ally attack. Let's do those changes. Ninja by default, I think, does his hail burn. That's perfectly fine. So yeah, I think that's the good setup. Let's go. What can Ninja do? Can he actually beat him with the same amount of ally attacks? That was the main comment from you guys in the previous video. So let's find out. 1000 turns, please don't fail me, please. Let's see. Very well built Ninja, 6-star rend, 673 million. Ninja has officially beat him. Guys, maybe you were right. So let's see. And also, again, you have to remember 1-star versus 6-star. So we are getting 673.1 million, 673.1. Ninja has officially beat Kro'khad even with Shayak. Ninja with Mikage, that is, of course. 500,675, 500,675. So that's the damage number so far. Interestingly, the percentage is very similar to the previous comp, the difference being in the total damage. And yeah, I think it has to do with, I mean, the relic ranking doesn't change much, to be honest, because that only matters how far you get to the max out number, because the total cap that you get to is 30%, which you get to in both cases. Gear definitely does matter. The 9-piece Merciless grants you extra speed, extra crit damage, and the chance to unlock an extra turn, which is very beneficial. And of course, 6-star rend, and this is the test that I did specifically for Ninja. On Nightmare difficulty, the rend makes much more sense. It makes a ton of difference because the defense numbers of the bosses is much higher. So this is kind of what I should have expected based on that test. So Ninja has so far beat Kro'khad. Let's see where we get with Thor. So let's discard this result. Let's jump into Thor. And who do I give to Thor? Where are ya? There's Thor. And let's give him as well, because Padraig kind of ensures the consistent increase attack that Thor will get. So yeah, let's run the next test. Thor, who turned out to be in 3rd place last time round, can he change things this time about with Nightmare Hydra? We're into the run, halfway through already. Hopefully again it doesn't fail and goes up to turn 1000. Really hoping that it does. And yes, it 470.66. So 470.66 and 4 zeros, and we have 333,280. 333,280,000. That's the number from Thor. So far it looks like he is overperforming just a simple Kro'khad without Shayak, but underperforming with Shayak included. And again, he's also a 9-piece Merciless, and he's in a 5-star Nature's Wrath, which makes a ton of difference. So even if Kro'khad loses here, that basically means that Kro'khad will win this fight when this gets to 5-star Blessing or a 6-star Blessing. I will run this test again once we have that soul, and we will see where we lie. Let's jump into the next one, the first void on the list. That is Acrasia, and let's see what Acrasia can do. I'll keep Padraig as the ally attacker this time around as well. Acrasia, the thing with Acrasia is her damage doesn't really change all that much, because her damage is capped. All damage is capped on enemy max HP. Where are you, Acrasia? Why can't I find her? There she is. So her damage is capped, which means that none of the other things are going to increase her damage all that much, which is why we can't really find a better combination than Padraig. Padraig is going to give her increased attack, but doesn't really change anything. So there's that we have. I have given the A2 the priority because that's the AoE hit. She is wearing the Perch Shadow Relic on a +12, which means that when she's hitting with the A1, she has a chance to proc an extra turn. And she's in 9-piece Merciless, that means even more extra turns. Crazy good champion. I've done separate guide videos on Acrasia on how I think she should be built. But let's see what she can do. Let's run the test. We are on the way. I think Acrasia should get close to Ninja, maybe slightly below Ninja. But I might be proven wrong here. Maybe Kro'khad beats her 427.72. I think I was right. 427.72. 42772. 4 zeros. There you go. Acrasia did 281,902. 281,902. There's the damage from Acrasia. So Acrasia, actually, the overall damage is, again, you have to remember, Acrasia, especially on the devoured heads, does a lot of damage. So Hatter's damage also goes up quite a bit. So that's why the team damage number is probably higher than Thor, even though her own damage is considerably lower. So that's Acrasia on the list. And now, on to the final boss, Marius the Gallant. Can Marius throw things off? And for Marius, what I'll do is I'll keep Padraig again, because I need to give Marius increased defense. I know that Marius does his increased defense anyways, but for some rounds he might not have it, and I would like to prioritize this so that the A3 can be used to decrease the cooldown of A2. So that's kind of it. Marius is the final boss. Let's see if Marius does claim the throne, as he should in my opinion. Right? Currently Ninja's holding is followed by Kro'khad. So let's go. Test is on the way. I do not expect this one to fail. It would be the least likely to fail. And yeah, I'm really hoping that this basically blows through Ninja's numbers as well. And I hope I'm not proven wrong. We are getting close to turn 1000. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Marius, blow them all away. The top of the food chain as you are. And am I gonna regret my words? But he's very close. 575.37. 575.37. Okay, I didn't need to add a 0.37. So what we can see right here is 469,084, 469,084, triple zeros. There you go. So overall damage is basically highest with Ninja and Mikage, the crazy combination. And Ninja is actually winning this fight by considerable margin. And I think that's because of the 6-star end and the Erethi Coronet combined. And that actually also maybe showcases that maybe, I mean, it kind of proves the test that I've done previously. 6-star Rend is much more useful on Nightmare Hydra. And Coronet, obviously the Rend, 6-star Rend plus Coronet is an amazing combination. So Ninja is winning this fight quite easily, I would say. You have to see that this number, if I rank by percentage of total damage, Marius is ranking the highest. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually rank by the damage number by the champion itself, and then if there's a tie, then the second thing would be the total damage. So Marius is going to go on to number 2, and then Kro'khad is going to be on number 3, and who's number 4? So 420, that's going to be 4, and after this is going to be Akrazia on number 5, and normal just Kro'khad is going to be number 6. So guys, that's the result of the test. We can clearly see a couple of things. Number 1, Kro'khad needs the higher relic, and then we need to rerun this test. I have a feeling that Kro'khad is just going to blow past both Marius and Ninja once he has a higher blessing. And the second thing is that Kro'khad with Shayak versus normal Kro'khad, there's a ton of difference. Comparing number 3 on the list to number 6 on the list. So that's a big change. So if you have Shayak, if you did the fusion, congratulations, you have unlocked a lot of damage potential on Nightmare Hydra. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be the video. Hopefully this time round, this is a much fairer comparison. Maybe next week I can rerun on hard if you guys want. The same test that I did last week on hard mode difficulty, but with keeping in mind basically the ally attackers, that I don't double it for Kro'khad. Thank you very much for watching. Again, if you liked the video, please leave a like. Comment down below as well. What was most surprising for you? What additional champions would you like me to run? I do not have Trund, unfortunately. I do not have a Thorion, unfortunately, so I can't run those tests. But the ones that I have, I'm happy to run. Thank you very much once again, and see you next time.